Hi everyone, it's Judy. Welcome back to Rose Lane. Okay, the first thing I'd like to do is to say thank you to everybody who's been commenting through the Facebook groups for these pieces that I've been doing. I did have somebody ask me in one of the comments in YouTube, just so that she can kind of get her head around things, if I was just doing these pieces that are going to go into the journal, and that is the case. I have not put the signatures together yet. I have not bound the journal yet because I want to see how wide or deep I'd have to make the spine. I don't mind it being stuffy and you know, like a very stuffed journal and a little alligator mouthed, or even a lot almost alligator mouthed. But I want to make sure that I can get everything in that I was planning on getting in. So I'm trying to gauge the depth of the book by how much of these special things that I'm going to be putting in. And then the rest of the pages, they add their own depth, of course, when you add a pocket and tags, but not like these will. So I'm trying to get these done so that I can have a better idea about how wide to make the spine. I'm almost there, and actually except for this one, we're going to start simplifying things. The last few that I have left are not going to be near as fancy, I guess. I hope, because you know me. Okay, so the ribbon that I was waiting for came. That's this little spool right here with the teal color on it. I will show you this in a minute. I've got all my pieces in my little Dollar Tree box, and what we're going to be working on tonight is the Tuxedo Pocket. So I always make them a little different, always put one in every one of my journals now for quite a while. You know, all for that reason that I don't want to forget what kind of got me launched in all of this in the first place. So thank you everybody for your wonderful comments, both on YouTube and in the Facebook groups. And I'm really hoping that I see some of your stuff up, at least if you don't have a YouTube channel or don't do a video, at least to see it in pictures up in the Facebook groups and see how you took it and ran with it. It's always fun to see. So, and thank you also to everybody who's been subscribing. You're just awesome. I've had quite an influx, and I'm very, very blessed. And yeah, before I start crying, we just won't go there. Okay, but thank you all. So I've got this box propped up because it's a little lid heavy, and I'm just going to move my ink out of the way, which is what I had it propped up on. I'm going to move the box back. Oh, one more thing before we get started, and this is just another excuse me, another by the way. One of the ladies in the YouTube asked, I think it was, or perhaps it was Facebook. I've been answering so many comments. I'm not sure now where exactly it was, but it was a day or two ago, I guess. Asked how I attached this so this would go. All it was, as I treated this like a pocket. Let me move this out of the way before I spill it. I just treated this like a pocket. So because it was. And, well, that's kind of hard to see. But what I did was I just glued here, here, and here, okay, and put it down as a pocket this way. And by doing that, the flap still flapped. So you're just gluing just to the inside of the fold here, just to the inside of the fold here, and then across the bottom, making this a pocket, and then these will make their little pages. So that's all there was to that. All right. This is the Trifold Tuxedo Pocket, and I've done this in videos before. Some people are still seeing it, you know, or seeing it for the first time, I suppose. I've already glued this, but let me quickly show you. Everybody thinks you have to measure, and you really don't, because what determines the depth of the pocket is where the flaps go, and that's really all it is. So let me just I'll grab anything here. Any stray piece of paper I might have. Let me see. Oh gosh, with this pile of stuff down here. All right, we're just gonna grab a piece of paper. Let me grab a piece of paper up here. I'm trying to stand up from my chair. All right, and I'm sorry this is gonna be white, but okay, so you're gonna fold this into threes, and I try to just sort of do it by eye mostly. I give just a little pinch on one end and then bring the side over and see how it looks inside, which is not too bad. So I think I'm going to leave that there. So this might be just a little off because I'm trying not to take too much time. So you fold that one, and it's already crooked, I can see on this end, and I have no excuse for this being tea-dyed and shrinking, because this is a straight off-the-shelf white piece of copy paper. And then it could go over a little bit more, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. And then you just line that up. I have a little bit more of a gap in here than I would normally want. So then all you do is turn this over, pull the flap down. So it's just a matter of what order you do it in. So you fold it into threes, turn down the flap, fold it again, and you're not going right to the fold, just a little short of it. And then, because now you know where the flaps go, you just take the bottom and fold it up. If you want it a little bit shorter, you can make the gap. Let me see, let me put something underneath it that you might be able to see the gap. You can make the gap a little bit smaller. That didn't help, did it? We'll use this side. You can make the gap a little bit smaller, or maybe you don't want the pockets that deep. You make it a little bit bigger. I generally go about, I don't know, 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch. It gives you enough room to be able to get stuff in and out of the pockets without interfering with the flap. And that is all there is to it. And then you just fold it back again, and you've got your tuxedo pocket. Now, one little hint I will give you is when you fold it, the paper wants to pull in, and it gives this, I don't know if you can really see it, but it gives this little bit of a place where it kind of sticks out. So, because the pocket doesn't want to wrap. So glue, when you've got it flat, glue the fold lines. That's all you need just here. And then push it out this way, and you shouldn't have that problem. You shouldn't have a space where the pockets don't quite meet the edge underneath, okay? So that's all there is to that. So let's get started on this. I don't know what I did with it. Here it is. I think I have most things. I may have to come up with something. I started doing it the other day and then didn't finish because I really wanted a different ribbon. So I've got this all folded. I've got this all glued, except, well, I don't have it all glued, see? Yeah, I'm not doing anything there. There will actually probably be a quick second part to this, only because I don't know how to pause and do something and come back. So I realized I didn't do the pieces for inside here yet, just now, and I don't want to start the video over. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do just what I said. We're going to ink down here. I did it again. Called the glue ink. We're going to glue down here. Just push that in and then push it out that way, and you don't have any gaps on the end. Once this is set, it won't allow the paper to pull itself in. Okay, so that's that. And then I have all my little pieces cut, and I've got this done in sort of a teal color. Something a little different for me, which is why I had to order that ribbon. So we're going to get started by putting these on the pockets. Now I think I did mark these. This one was the middle. This one was on the right. Because when you fold them, these are not going to be exactly even, because you have to, you know, kind of fudge it a little bit. So I know this one is the middle, so we're going to put that down, and I'm going to go to my, what do you call it here? Which I'm not sure why I didn't have the pin in, but it's working. Okay. So I went into work today and wasn't feeling quite right. You know, not like a cold or anything like that, just a little off. I came home, I was a little tired, and I was like, you know, I'm just going to rest my eyes. You know, when you get, like, older, I'm not going to say how old, because I don't want to insult anybody out there, but when you get older, that phrase, just rest my eyes, comes up a lot. At least it does with me. And my card. So I came in, I changed my clothes, and I just laid down, and I felt a little chilly, so there's a mistake. I pulled the blanket up. Oh, I gotta glue the sides. I pulled the blanket up and promptly fell asleep for 2 hours. And it was not good. Well, it was good. I suppose I needed it, but it wasn't good because I woke up and I picked up my phone to see what time it was, and it said it was 5:34. And I had come home just a little bit early, and it doesn't take me long to get home. And because I really wasn't feeling that well, I finished up what I was doing and then just kind of packed up and headed on out. And it said it was 5:34, and I looked at towards my windows in my bedroom, and there was light coming through it, and I was like, it can't be 5:34. The sun is already up. And so I'm looking at my phone and I'm banging it and stuff, like, you know, I turned it off and turned it back on because I thought maybe it got stuck on the time or something like that. And then I realized that it wasn't morning, it was night, that I had fallen asleep. Didn't mean to, but I had fallen asleep, and I slept for like almost 2 hours. So just a ridiculous thing. I think I want to do it this way, and I'm pretty sure that's the one that goes there. Let's just check. No, I don't believe so. This one is going to go there. Yep. And that one fits much better there. This one, let me have this, turn this around, because it looks like it might be a little too high. How I do that, I don't know. But it is a smidgen too high. If I'm lining it up here with the bottom of that one, this one's too high. So let me just check this one. You know what? I think I did cut this from another place. These two were cut together, I think, or nearby. Though this is a little long, but this fits this way. So this one fits up and down, top to bottom on the pocket, but not side to side. And this one doesn't fit that way. All right, so this one's just a little long. So let me grab my little ruler. Let me find my pen, and we'll trim this down a little bit. And sometimes I'll go back and I'll trim more than once. I kind of eyeball this, and but I tend to be maybe a little conservative when I start cutting, or at least I try to be, just so that because I can always go back and cut it shorter again. If I cut off too much, and I can still go back and do just what I did again. If I cut off too much, then I've got to do a whole new piece. So we try to avoid that if we can, because then I just end up with more scraps. It's just, I have to learn how to like really use my scraps better. I'm not sure, and that I guess is really just kind of freestyle collaging, I would say. All right, that's good. Let me get this one though. I have to ink the other one. Now I'm getting warm. I was cold and put my sweater on, and now I'm getting warm. Okay, so let's do this side. Hopefully I won't be taking off too much. There we are. Let's make sure this one fits. So this is all a bit of a process. Like I said, I had them all done, and then I was waiting. Now, this one I did with this. This is the brush corduroy. I had already inked this, so I'm not going to go with the dark one on here. Besides, I don't think the dark one would, I don't know. I don't think the dark one would quite work as well as it did on some of the other pieces that I've been using it on lately. Okay, that's that one, and then this one's on the side over here. And I'm not inking too heavily. At least I don't think I am. So, all right, and that one's going to go there. So let's get this one down. And we will do that. Now, I did make the tags for these little pockets. I have to make the tags for here, or journaling cards, I guess I should say. And I have to kind of work on the ones that go inside. So I made, like I said, I did not do the inside flaps for the secret pockets and the extra place to journal, the flip where you can journal. So I will do another short video there. So I may stop this this video sooner than I would normally need to, just because I'll try to kind of equal out the lengths of the video, so they're not like these last few that have been over an hour. And bless your hearts, a lot of you have been, you know, watching, I would say, pretty much through. And I know that we all don't always watch all the way through. If you're like me, I am a gatherer of information, so I have all of these channels that I have subscribed to, and it can get overwhelming. I can't watch them all. But I'll go through, and if something looks intriguing or sounds intriguing, I'll pull it up. I check every day, and then I'll just pull it up and I'll watch it. If it's not too long, usually I'll watch it all the way through. If it's something that is complicated, like some of the stuff that I've been doing lately, I don't want to say complicated, involved. Because it's really not that complicated. It's just involved. And a lot of the time comes in how you want to decorate. And if you do it simply, it goes a lot faster. If you want to sit here and put tiny little flat back pearls on all this stuff all over the place, that takes a little more time. So it's all relative, I suppose. So, but I will scan through. I will do that. I will scan through people's videos and listen for parts. And I think that one's okay there. Again, these are never going to be exactly equal, so I just want to make sure. All right. Let me see. I think this one's going to be too big. Yep. So that one does go there. This one's just a little off, I think. Yep. So I'm going to take it from here and just trim this down a little bit. I swear they fit the other day when I put all the pieces together, but they're not fitting now. So anyway, I do scan through people's videos and just try to, you know, get to the crux of things, because we just don't have the time. I mean, we all know if we're making journals and pieces, how long it takes. And if you make stuff, and I'm inking off the camera again to keep the little bits. I did get the new sponges. I just didn't bring them down here yet. I cut down here and then I'm like, I left them upstairs again to try to remember to get them and bring them down. But if you do your own videos, that takes a lot to prepare to put a video up and then download it and, you know, do all the typing in of everything and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And that takes time. And bless your hearts for those of you who do all of that and then have Facebook pages too, whether, you know, like a Facebook group for the journals, whether it's one that's just showcasing the stuff that you do, or even more so, one that has to manage all of the people who are contributing. I can't imagine the time that it must take. So my hat's off to all of you who can do that. I don't know that I have it in me to quite take on all of that. You can see how I'm trying to catch up on the things I'm trying to get done that I have promised, and you know, things having been what they were this year, it was a little tougher for me to do. So this is why you're seeing these videos come up so quickly. You know, normally, I think maybe 3 times since I've started my YouTube channel, I've actually put up like 2 videos in a week. I think, if I've done it even that many times. But I'm trying to push this and get this done because I really need it out, because really after this, and not everything was custom for sale, but after I have a few things that I wanted to gift to people because they had been ill or lost a loved one or something like that. And but I think I have about, between design team projects I'm behind, gifts that I intended for people, and some of them were aware that I was promising to do them. Some are not. Well, maybe 2 are not. I have one that's ultimately going to be a gift to a young girl who I believe, she found my channel and asked me for a journal. And it's something just didn't quite, you know, but anyway. So I have that, a journal for her to do as well. And you know what, I glued these down. That's okay. Normally I keep them up and I do a pocket, but there's something else I think I can do, which I'll do in a subsequent video. Which actually, now that I think about it, might be kind of neat. But anyway, just an idea that came into my head. But we'll fix that later. So with all of these things, I probably have about another 7 or 9 that are waiting in the wings. And I'm still trying to, you know, look forward to getting stuff actually into the into my shop, into the Etsy shop, just for general, you know, general purposes. So, okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go back this way. We're going to work on, well, I can open that up. We're going to work on this. I'm just going to pull these out just to show you what I've done. Oh, I didn't put flowers on that one. But this is what I've done for this one, and I think I'm going to put some pearls out here on the end. And so this one's going to go, or these are going to go into these pockets. And it's the cards here that hold the flaps down. So that's what I've done for these, and I have to put a flower on this one, so let me put that to the front. This is the one for the back here. So we're going to get started on this one. So let's just put this to the side. We kind of have all that up. We're just going to put that up here. And then we're going to start deciding what we're going to do. Now let me explain this. Let me get something. Here, I'll flip this over. This is something we're going to be working on. But this ribbon, I had an aqua kind of colored ribbon. I don't know how well you can see. You can see it better when it's all, you know, because it's organza, so it's sheer. I'll show you the ribbon that it was, which was, get it out of the bag, you're just going to get some glare. It was this color, okay? And it didn't work with what I wanted. So I took brushed corduroy, made myself a little puddle of ink, and I dyed the ribbon. I'm just showing you this so that if there's something that you need sometimes, look into your stash and see what you have along with your inks, or it probably would have worked just as well with tea or coffee, and just kind of change the color a little bit. Let me get it back up there and not let it fall down. So this we're going to be using later, I think, I had an idea for this ribbon. I don't know if it's going to work or not. And like I said, a lot of this will probably come in the next, oh, I don't want to do that one. Will probably come, and this is that silk ribbon that is full of static. So that ought to be fun. Yeah, so that some of this will come in the next video. So what I want to do here is decide, I want to put something underneath here, give myself a little bit of a mat. But in the meantime, let's get this little puppy inked. Get that. I already did the card. Did I do the back? Notorious for forgetting the backs. There we go. I did. Okay. Get all of that one done. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my ink in a couple of places and just add a little more staining to it, make it look a little older. Put that to the side. And what do I have that I can put behind here? That's where all those scraps come in. Okay, let me see. Should have had something pulled, but I did not. I'm looking through tons and tons of paper. Let me go over here. I'll be right back. Let me see what I have in here, if anything. Oh, my. I have a lot of pink, but pink isn't what I want. I wonder if this one would work. Is this too green? Too close? No, I think it's okay. Normally what I do when I print something is I print where it came from and the, you know, who the artist was and, or the Etsy shop and the title of the kit itself. That big thunk was my dog again. So I need to make sure that I save that. And do I want the darker side or do I want the lighter side? I think I'm going to go for the darker side. It doesn't reach completely across, but it will do. Okay, let's get this. Yeah, I think my biggest problem is the piles of paper and digitals that I have around. It just is, I'm terrible about getting it all put away. And when I get a kit, I usually print it. So I get a better visual of what it actually looks like. Because, you know, sometimes when you're looking at it online, it looks a certain way. And then when you print it on your printer, it doesn't quite look the same anymore. I guess we're okay down here. So I'm just going to glue this on and I'm going to cut around it. I use two different printers oftentimes, and one is more expensive to use because it's a laser jet. So they take toner rather than ink cartridges. And the ink, more or less, from what I understand, I'm certainly no computer or printer guru, but from what I understand is the ink on the laser jet more or less kind of sits on top of the paper, where on the inkjet it kind of soaks into the paper somewhat. Just trying to get that straight somewhat. Well, my laser jet tends to print things more on the pink side. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes for me, when it prints on the more on the pink side, it's too, I don't know another word that I can use to describe it because it helps me, you know, I get it in my head. It's too like cotton candy pink. It's too pink for me. depending on what it is I'm doing, because most of my stuff is more vintagey. So it just gets a little too pink. Now, on certain things, like these flowers and stuff, easy enough. You can take the antique linen and you could just run a, oh, that doesn't help me. You could just run a brush over it and kind of tone it down and antique it up, which is very easy to do. But you can't do that to an entire sheet of paper. At least I wouldn't want to have to try to do that to an entire sheet of paper. So that being said, oftentimes I will take it, and if the colors are too bold or too pink, I will take it and put it on my LaserJet printer. Now, my LaserJet printer tends to print things a little more yellow, and I know for both there is probably a way to adjust that. Let me just say, again, I am not computer savvy or printer savvy. I wouldn't even know where to begin. I took this away too soon, so I'm just trying to get it lined back up so I can get this corner done. There we go. Put that over there because who knows. Yep. Doesn't look quite as green now because it looks a little more brown. So let's get that inked. Find the right ink because I covered it. Yeah, so if I want something a little paler, a little more pastel, a little peachier rather than pink, I'll do it on the inkjet. If I want it more pink or more bold, I gotta get a little more glue down there, I'll do it on the LaserJet. So it kind of gives me some options. Sometimes I'll do it on the LaserJet and go, I don't really like it. And then when I print it on the inkjet, I'm like, I like this one much better. It just depends. So I like to print my stuff out and then just put it into files. And if I decide that, I need more, particularly usually if I find a background paper in the kit that I like, I'll print more than one of them right off the bat. For a couple reasons. One, so that it's right at my fingertips while I'm trying to actually do the creating. And two, because 9 times out of 10, I've cut the little white strip off that has the name on it, and now I can't remember where I got it from, which is why I haven't answered some of your comments in YouTube or on the Facebook things, because you're asking me for the paper, and I don't know. I spent part of today, earlier today, before going into work, trying to search my computer to see if I can find the papers that I used in this one. Easier to show you than try to say the name. So, yeah, that didn't work. I couldn't find them. They're in there. I know they're in there. But I am not finding them. This just looks not straight to me. So let me just pull this down a little bit. It looks like my one side of my circle thing's a little higher than the other. I think it may be. I do believe. Best way to find out is to measure, right? So let's have a look. That comes to just under 4 3/4. Again, my things are not precision. I just cut something that looks like it's going to fit. And this was just under 4 3/4. I said it was just under 4 3/4, right? Make sure. Yeah, well, that's pretty much the same. So must be my eyes. So we're going to put this down again and put this on here, and then we're going to decorate it with the flowers. This is all roses in here against this teal background. Lots of pink roses, garlands, and just all kinds of stuff. This one's going to be very feminine, and haven't decided lace yet, so go up about there. I think that looks pretty good, and let's just make that straight, and that looks all right. Okay. Try to get some of the glue that oozes out first on the napkin, or the wipe. Okay, and then let's just do that. Okay, now I have these things, and I'm going to probably put them in just so that I can get them out of my way. Let me pull out all these little fellas. I'll do this with my tweezers because it'll be easier for me. I know those go on the inside. And you're probably seeing some of these, and some of these are probably off camera, but okay, and here. And let me put this to the side real quick because I do want to get, I can eliminate some of these out of the way because I know where they're going to go. And grab these guys, put them there, grab these. Okay, all right, these are Vellum Pockets. As you can see, I used the same vellum that I had printed on that I used on the back of the arch gatefold piece. I'm probably going to put some lace across the edges of this, more than likely. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little doilies, which I had tea dyed a long time ago, and I cut them down to kind of simulate lace on the pockets somewhat. I'm not sure exactly if I put lace or something on it. So what I'm going to do is not put it right up to the edge. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit from the edge of the pocket so that, let me see before it completely dries. I think I know the lace I want. Let me see if I can dig that out. So I believe it's on one of these cards. Trying to find the small one. I'm all tangled up. I don't know how I got tangled up, but I am. That's too big. That's not what I was looking for. It's too big. Wrong kind. That must have been the one I was thinking of, because I'm not finding anything else. Certainly not enough of that. That should be my scrap bag. All right, so let me see this. I'm probably gonna have to do it with this one, but this one is white. So I can also go this way. So I'll be dyeing this lace, and then that's gonna go this way. I'm probably gonna go up on the edge of the pocket. So I'll be dyeing that. Okay, let's get these guys in their corners, and that one goes on that side. Fuzzy stuck to me again. So let's do this. So with my thought process, I kind of get a picture in my head of what I think I want to do, and oftentimes it doesn't work. I go to do it and it's like, well, that didn't work the way I thought, or that didn't look the way I thought it would. Yeah, so that's not that great. But sometimes it does, and I start out thinking this is what I'll do, this is all I'll do, and then the next thing I know, it's like, oh, but I could add this and I can do that, and what if I do this, and oh wow, that looks pretty, I like that one. And yeah, so that's, I get a little out of hand, curbing knowing when enough is finally enough. But it's a very fun process. And that's what art is all about, right? Okay, now somewhere in here, and I'm not, here it is. This is the one I intended for here. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. So let's put that on. I'm gonna hold this with the tweezers. My tweezers are a little gunked up because these were the ones when my husband said to me, do you have a pair of small tweezers? I was like, yeah, and I gave him these, and he tried to use them to fix the computer, or tried to fix the computer. It's still not fixed. It's still sitting here in pieces to my left behind me. And that does bother me because my Rose Lane email is in that computer. I can't access it, so if anybody's been trying to get me through that, they can't, which is why I put in the description box another email address where you can get me in the meantime while I wait. So it does bother me for that, but it also bothers me because that's my sewing table. And I've been wanting to try to stitch things, but the way things are set up down here, I'd have to literally take my sewing machine either upstairs or to the other side of the basement and try to rig up something over there because the outlets just don't line up for me down here, because I am just in a basement. It's not a finished basement. It's just a basement with, you know, funky utility walls. I don't know what they did here. They kind of put squares of something up and screwed them in and then whitewashed it. And the floor is, you know, the basement concrete floor. It's just basement. So, yeah. So I'm going to put these guys here. I think, I lose a little bit of the lumpies when I put them on, but that's okay. I don't think, I got to stop with this thing. Sometimes some of these wipes are just so linty. There we go. I hope. Not sure. I can always come back. I'm going to try this with the art glitter glue. I think it's a little neater for this. So I'm not sure when I will get that computer back. It may be a very long time. If he finally does get back around to coming down here and playing with it some more, and it actually works, that would be fabulous. But if he doesn't, I don't know. Or if he puts it back together and we find out that it's not going to work, I don't know. So anyway, okay, so these I want to put in and get them out of the way. And they go this way along the sides. So this is going to require a little bit of glue. So I need to try to do it as quickly as I can so that, oh no, not that one, so that I can get it down fast. So I'm just going to lean it on the table and kind of just go around like this. Just sort of dotting it where I can. It does dry quickly, so we want to try to get enough on so that if it does start to dry, that it doesn't, you know, completely dry up and won't stick, but you don't want so much on that oozes out all over and makes a mess. Mine always oozes out somewhere, but we'll try to keep the messes to a minimum. Okay, I think I can always go back and put more glue on it. I'm trying to just grab this leaf. Well, that didn't work. Okay. And then get it in here. Okay. And like I said, I will go back and check if anything is loose, and I'll, you know, not completely glued down, and I'll fix that off camera. We'll get this one and get our tweezers. Got to do it from the side. Can't do it from the top and bottom. Does not work for me anymore. It's funny, all the things that I'm having to learn when I pull into the parking lot at work. We just, you know, we have one strip of spaces, you know, pull-in parking spaces. in front of our building for our program staff, anybody who works in that building. Well, there's probably, oh, I don't know, there's probably about 10 spaces there. And my space, you know, because we run the program, is first. It's got a sign on it that says it belongs to me, which is good because I'm usually the one who's lugging stuff in and out. Anyway, oh, what's this? Something is folded over. I can't tell. What is that? I don't know. Oh, you know what? It's ink. Okay, that's okay. So normally, you know, when you pull into a parking space, especially if there's a sign in front of you, you know, that has like, you know, this parking space belongs to, kind of thing. You know, when you pull up to it, you know where you are. Well, I can't tell that anymore looking straight on because of the depth perception thing. So I am more fortunate. I usually pull in pretty slowly, you know, as I am getting close to being where I'm supposed to be. I do take my time, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Not like I was a speed demon before, but, you know, I could pull in pretty quickly and not have it be an issue. I need this up here. But now I want to see this side. Oh, I've got this little guy on here, don't I? All right, I'm going to have to, that didn't work. I need to pull this little guy off because it had come off. And now I'm going to have to try to do this with my fingers. It had come off on the other one, and I didn't take it off of here. So I want to try to get this as near as I can to the other one, placement wise. Let's get you. I can feel the, oh, you're not going where I want you to go. All right, that's pretty good. Now, I know this is exactly the same because I made it exactly the same and just flipped it because I put this together. Believe it or not, it's still sticky. That's too low. It may not be too sticky too long. All right, this has got to go in a little. I think what I'm going to end up doing is just place it, relying on the little bit of glue that's left, and I will get rid of these things off my fingers that have now become glued. And then I'm going to go back and put it down. Okay. It is sticking, amazingly, but I will have to go back. And this one I'm going to do a little bit just to make sure, because I don't want to pull anything and get it off, you know, pull it off by accident. Not that you can't put it back on, but where I was holding around the edges, some of this is not sticking now. Get up, thank you. Get a little bit of glue there, and I think the rest, yeah, the rest will be okay. All right. So we've got that. That's what we're putting on the inside, and we have the, what do you call it for that? Let's get back here. You see my time. All right. And let's finish working on this one. So this one, well, let's do what I meant to do for these guys. And I'm pretty sure this is the way I'm going to fold this. To the, let me grab a clip. I don't have a small one here. Oh, yeah, I do. This one will work. Just for placement's sake, I believe the small one I meant for here. I'm trying to see which way, that's the way it fit better. And the larger one I meant for here. And where was the best? Just spinning. Okay, I think it was this way. And that one went up that way. Okay. So that's what we're going to do with these guys, and then we can put, I think I'm actually going to put something else on here, and I think that's partly the ribbon. So we will get this done. And I probably, I mean, this is, I know that it is Tuesday night for me, but this is not going to go up until the weekend. So I will do the 2 videos and I will put them up back to back. So it's not one long video, but they'll both be up together so that if you wanted to watch them back to back, you could to see the process completed. But the decorating for me does take a long time. Sometimes making the actual piece itself is not so much, but you know, when you counter in all of the fussy cutting and how long it takes and you know, everything that you have to do, it does take time to do all these things. Make sure I've got it as close as possible here. Okay. And I'll go back and I'll ink over those little white spaces. I said this way, right? Yep. Okay, so let's... Oh, so anyway, the tweezers are reminding me. So if there's a car parked next to me, I look to my right or to my left. For me, it's in this parking space, it's to my right, because I'm in the one closest to the building over here. And usually our business manager has come in pretty early. She's a much earlier riser than I am. And I will look to see how even I am with her door, with the door on her car. And that is how I know how far in I am. I just took that off. It's amazing that I can fussy cut these things with a hair, and then when I put them down, I rip them off, but I do want it there, so I'm going to try to pick it up. Where's my knife? It doesn't want to come off because there's glue on my fingers. There we go. And I am going to put it right back down where it belongs. There we go. So yeah, that's how I tell. I look, or I have to get down and look at stuff this way to see how high it is. Just, my goodness, if I make myself a bowl of ice cream and I sit down and look at it from the side, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't eat all of this. Yeah, so anyway. All right, we're going to leave this for a little while because there's something else I want to do, and I want to get to this card, okay? I want to get to this card. This is what I'm going to put on here. And what I did to do this was I sprayed the card with a little bit of water. Actually, I put brushed corduroy, put that down, and then sprayed the card with a little bit of water, put a little bit of water in a puddle of, I forget what color I used. I forget which one it was now off the top of my head. Broken China, I think, maybe, or something like that, from Tim Holtz. Took a paintbrush into the wet ink that's, you know, been sprayed here, and the wet on my brush, and just sort of dabbed it around, and then I took my finger and just, you know, sort of rubbed here and there. So I got this sort of marbled look on the card. I didn't do the whole thing because I didn't have to. So this is what we're going to put on here. And all I'm going to do here, I'm probably not going to do the flowers or anything on this one. We'll just get this here, put this on here, and then we will come back in the second video and do the rest of what's going on, the tags and things like that. I may jump ahead a little bit just to save some time, show you some of the things that I did, but and like I said, some people ask me, you know, how big is this or how big is that? Mostly, I don't know. I take what it is I want to put on it and then, you know, make sure it fits in the spot I'm going to go and just sort of eyeball it. And I don't usually measure. It's probably not the smartest thing for me, but it's the quickest thing for me. And So I just sort of do stuff by eye. So I apologize for that. However, I can, once I actually do that, give you approximate measurements. And I say approximate because when I measure things it usually falls between two lines on the ruler. So, and it's some ridiculous fraction that I couldn't possibly begin to figure out. So I don't even try. Okay, so I want that about there. Put that on there. Yeah, so I don't know how wide this card is. I just cut it to fit this. That's what I did. Actually, I cut this, if I recall now. I cut this and then found out it wouldn't fit in the center. So I cut the border off and cut closer to this design. And then I fit the card to this. So what this is, I don't know. I can measure it, but I don't know what it is. So, and this was back twice. Because when I wet the card, it wanted to curl. So the length of the card is, it's just about 7 inches. It's like 7 inches and a 1/16. Because, you know, that's how I am. And the width is, looks like 3 3/16, just one short of a 1/4 inch, because that's what fit. So this one is actually going to go in here. Get out of the way there. This one goes in here because that's what fit. And I wanted it to come over the top because it will get a ribbon up here. It's probably going to get some lace trim and a ribbon up in there. And yeah, so that's how it'll be. So what we have so far, then I do have to put a flower on that one. This one goes in here. This one goes in here. Okay. This one goes back here. And I may actually put something else in here as well. I leave the back plain because I leave it intentionally for journaling. And everything behind here is intended for you to be able to be journal on. And then these are the cards that are going to go in here, which we also have to decorate. So that's what we have thus far with the tuxedo pocket. So we're going to finish these. We'll finish that. This one still needs a flower on it, and it needs the pearls. And then this one, and then we still have to decorate here. And I think part of what I'm going to do is put this across the pocket, and I will be using this ribbon in and on it somehow, some way. I'm not sure just yet how it's going to be. So for right now, guys, that is what we have. I'll just throw these on here for the sake of having something look cute. And for the picture. Doesn't mean that's how it's going to be, but just so that it looks pretty. So that's it for now, guys. I will continue this in the second video. So be blessed, be happy, be safe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.